Hello everyone, so today's video is all about my current beauty favorites. Now, I have been trying some new things, as I've been saying for the last couple months, just because around this time of the year, this is when all the holiday stuff comes out, new holiday palettes, lip kits, things like that. So I've definitely have tried several that I really like that sort of made their way into my favorites. So these are kind of like my fall favorites. And if we have time, I will share with you a sort of meh, not so good favorite at the end of the video, which I've never done before. So let's just go ahead and get started with the skincare stuff. Now, I have been experiencing, not so much anymore right now, but for about 2 good weeks in October, my skin was so dry to the point where it was peeling. I could see the dryness as I was blending my shadows, like flakes of skin were coming off, under my eyes, all of this area here, around my nose, around my mouth. It was so bizarre just because I'm pretty oily and having dryness is not something that I usually deal with except for maybe around my nose from time to time. So I think it could be for a number of reasons. What I started doing was washing my face twice a day instead of using my simple cleansing water, which I will show you here in a minute, in the mornings and then just a good cleanse at night. I was cleansing morning and night, and I think that just sort of like started over drying my skin a little bit. I even filmed a get ready with me. I was getting ready for my husband's birthday dinner and all of that stuff, and it just, my skin just looked terrible in that video. And I remember saying in that, as I was editing, that it was just bad. You could see it peeling on the camera, and I just was like, I'm not posting this. This looks pretty bad. So, long story short, now that we got that all out of the way, I have been using a lot of beauty oils. Now, you probably have seen this if you've watched a favorites video of mine within the last couple of months. You have seen the Argan Oil. This is just a bottle. I'm pretty much almost done with this. I've got pretty much right below the labels where I'm at. But this is a really good oil for oily skin, Argan Oil. If you wanted something that's a little bit more intense, you could find other oils. I mean, essential oils, they're out there everywhere. This has definitely saved my skin. What I've been doing with this is adding it a couple drops to my moisturizer. I've also added this to my foundation, especially those days where I was really peeling and drying. I was just dousing my skin in oil as much as possible throughout the day, keeping makeup to a minimum just to see if I could figure out what exactly is causing the dryness and peeling, because it looked really bad. So this has definitely saved my skin, the Argan Oil, which I definitely want to do a video about using beauty oils in your foundations and your moisturizers. So that might be something I will film if I've got the time for it. And then the other product is an Argan Face Serum. This is from Nourish Organic. This little tiny sample came in my Ipsy Glam bag this past month. It's got Moroccan Argan Oil, Apricot Kern Oil, and rosehip oil. So it's basically like a little concoction of 3 different oils mixed together, and this is definitely another good one. And I think because of the Argan Oil, it sort of sinks into the skin. That's what I like about this one that I use pretty much on a regular basis, is that Argan Oil, it absorbs pretty quickly. I use 1 to 2 drops, and I feel like that's just perfect. So I would definitely talk about that more in another video. Another skincare product is a new cleanser, and I got this specifically for the dryness and just something, I wanted something that was a little bit more sort of creamier, something that wasn't going to strip my skin, because I use the oil balancing cleanser by Paula's Choice, which I love. I'm almost out of that. I need to get another one, but I didn't want to continue using that because I felt like using that twice a day was probably contributing to the dryness. So I went in to my local drugstore, of course, just to find something to help me with my dry skin for those 2 weeks, and I found the Olay. This is the Total Effects 7-in-1. It's a revitalizing foam cleanser, and I've used actually quite a bit of it. I've been using this pretty much every night for the last 2 weeks now, and it's supposed to give you 7 benefits in one. So on the list it has so those, especially the last ones, healthy looking radiance, the skin softness, and nourishing moisture is what sold me on it, just because I wanted something that was creamy and very sort of, I guess, something that would clean my skin without making it feel really dry. And this has definitely checked off all those boxes. It is a very sort of like, let me see if I can get some out without spilling. Whoa, yeah, I was trying not to, but it's a very sort of milky white, creamy sort of feel to it, and it's not a overly hydrating cleanser that someone with oily skin couldn't use. It's definitely good because it doesn't strip your skin of the essential moisture and oils that you already have naturally in the skin. So I do like this one, and again, I think I got this at Target, and I must have paid like $6 or $7 for this, maybe less. It's really inexpensive, but it's also a very good one. Now, I mentioned briefly earlier the Simple Cleansing Water. This is the Micellar Cleansing Water, and this is what I've been using, and I'm pretty much almost out. I went back to doing this every day. I started, like I said, washing my skin or my face twice a day, and that just doesn't work for me. And what I was doing for months prior to doing that was this in the morning with a cotton pad, and then a nice good cleanse at night. And I feel like this is definitely have kept my skin from breaking out. It's definitely keep my skin really nice and soft. It makes my skin feel comfortable where I can go in with foundation if I wanted to, or a little bit of powder. But I just like how it's just so easy in the mornings when I don't have a lot of time. I have a toddler who's almost 3. When he gets up in the morning, he's like, I want to eat, I want out of my crib. So I have to be quick with things. So just this on a cotton pad, all over the face, throw on some eye cream and moisturizer, and literally I'm done. So this is definitely has been really good to me. Speaking of eye cream, I've been using the Cerve eye cream. I ran out of my Bare Minerals, and I can tell you the difference between this and the Bare Minerals. I feel like when I use my Cerve, just the concealers and the powders, everything just sort of blends easily. And I've been looking back at some of my videos and some of my, photos, and I can see such a difference from just the overall appearance of my eye makeup, how it just looks so much more blended. And a lot of it has to do with the tools and, blending or whatever. But I also think that a big part of it is the skin underneath. You want to make sure that your skin is really nice and hydrated. You don't want dryness. If you have any sort of peeling or anything like that, it's going to look bad. And that's exactly what happened to me for those 2 weeks. That everything I put on my eye just looked awful, like horrible. So this has definitely saved my under eye area and my eyelids. And this is available at pretty much every drugstore. I would say it's one of the pricier items just because it's Cerave and it's a little bit more expensive. But this line has been recommended to me, from doctors and dermatologists that I have visited in the past. They have said Cerave and Cetaphil are the 2 brands to stick to when you're getting like drugstore products. So I like this, and I'm going to continue using it and give you a more full in-depth review. And then let's talk about some makeup tools. I have been getting into the whole little makeup sponge thing. They're so kind of squishy. This is the Mikasa Beauty Lemon Drop Sponge. And then this is the Ecotools one that I got at Kohl's. This has quickly made it into my favorites because I love this sponge and I love the Mikasa one just as much. This one has just a smoother feel to it versus this one that feels more like a traditional makeup sponge. But this one does look pretty much like a beauty blender. I don't know if it's exactly the same. I would suppose it's pretty close to it just because of the shape, the color even. But the whole point of this is it gives you a nice sort of flawless look to the skin. You dampen these under the water, you wring out the water. I would wrap it in like a paper towel and just sort of get all the excess out. You want it to be damp. And then I just sort of dot my foundation and blend this in. I use it for concealer. I've used it for concealer dry as well, and it works great. I don't have an issue with it. And what's best about this is that it not only gives you a nice finish to the skin when you're applying your foundation, but it also picks up any excess products, because sometimes we can get, carried away and we can use too much foundation and you look a little cakey or, too much here. And you just use this sponge and it just sort of like blends everything and makes it so much better. So I definitely like this. You will be seeing I was going to do a first impression, but it's already been in my favorites. So I think I'm just going to do a review on it. I have the demo that I filmed, days ago about using this sponge, so I just need to kind of finish wrapping up that video, but you will see more about this in the future. So I do like that, and I will link the Mikasa one down below in the description box if you are interested. And then some eye brushes. You guys know I'm not a humongous fan of Sigma. I remember when I first started my channel years ago, I got into the whole Sigma thing because what they were doing was creating a MAC dupe. So if you wanted the MAC 219 that was like 20 something dollars, Sigma would come out with the same brush, but it would be like the SS 219. Same exact identical look to it. The bristles were the same, everything. The ferrule was slightly different, but essentially you were getting the same brush for like a quarter of the cost, less than half the cost actually. And with, most companies that start off, small and then they grow because of YouTube and famous YouTubers, their prices have skyrocketed, and I feel like the quality has gone down quite a bit in Sigma brushes, but the prices continue to go through the roof, and I'm not a fan of that. But I do have to say that there's one brush, there's a few, But this one in particular is the E25. I absolutely love. I have the old one that says the SS217 on it, and I actually found this in my stash of brushes. That's why it doesn't look as fluffy as this one. And maybe you can see a difference, hopefully. But this is now, it's called the E25. It's the blending brush. This has been a really, really great brush for me to use for blending. I like to use this one, the E25, that's fluffier to kind of add products into my crease. I use this other one that's the same style, but it's just so much more put together because it hasn't been roughed up, to kind of clean around my crease, go around the edges to soften things out, start with, you know, a skin tone shadow all over my lid before applying any products. And both of these have been really good to me. They're not shedding. They have held their shape through numerous washes, especially this one that's fluffier and more beat up. Most of my Sigma brushes that I have, face brushes, they shed like all get out. Like, I cannot stand using them anymore. And these two are really, really great, and I wouldn't recommend them unless they were really good. Another brush that's pretty huge is the Ecotools Domed Bronzer. This was actually recommended to me by a lovely viewer. This and another product from a different brand that I have not been able to get my hands on just yet. But the lovely viewer that sort of recommended this to me said that this was a great brush to try because they have tried Makeup Revolution because of my recommendations, so they wanted to kind of pass along some little beauty tips, and one of them was this brush here. And what I love, love, love about this brush is not only how soft it is, it's a little wonky just because of the way it's been packed. It's probably been sitting in the packaging at the store for several weeks, months, who knows. So I'm sort of like trying to mold it back. It's supposed to be a little bit more rounded. But what they said was that this brush is supposed to be the dupe for the big fluffy brush by Tarte that has a very similar handle that's kind of bulky like this. I don't have that brush, so I can't really compare it to the Tarte one, but what I love about this is using it for foundation. I would have, you know, some people probably say don't bronzer, okay, this must be like a bronzer brush or maybe some powder, but it's actually really good for foundation, as that person said to me in their comment about this brush, is that it's great for foundation. It doesn't soak up and absorb a lot of the foundation, and they're right. And I love this brush. This is so great for using my foundation. The one that I have been using like every day is my Infallible by L'Oreal. This has been so good. It's great for oily skin, and I've been using it with this brush because normally I use one of my Sigma brushes, the I think F84, which is another favorite of mine, but I've been using this brush and it is freaking awesome, and it's by Ecotools. It's really inexpensive. I got mine at Ulta a couple weeks ago for 10, 11, maybe even 12 bucks. Really inexpensive, but you could use this for powders, which I have. I've used this for bronzer as well, and it works great. But for foundation, it's freaking awesome. It blends in the foundation so easily. I feel like with this brush and one of these sponges that I talked about just a little bit ago, I'm good for foundation. Like, I don't need to use any other brush. I don't need to use my fingers. Like, this is just, all I need. It's so, so good. For another beauty product, I've got my Smashbox primer. This is the 24-hour photo finish primer. I'm not a huge Smashbox fan. I almost got tongue twisted there. I'm not a huge Smashbox fan, really. I've gotten some things in the past that have been okay, and then some things that are really good that I really love from them. But this primer has a bit of a sort of slip to it, so it's not as drying as the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, if you're familiar with that, or the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which is what I've been using pretty much all the time, but except for when I was having those issues with dryness around my eye, those primers were just awful. I could not even use them. So I started busting this out, which I got this months ago as a free gift with purchase when I bought one of their eyeshadow palettes. I think it was over the summer. And I decided to bust this out because it was the only product that I felt like was silky enough to really help with the dryness, but also good enough to prevent creasing because I have really oily lids. So I do like this, and I'm almost, as you can see, almost out of it. So I do have to get another one. And I don't know if this is an actual full size. It's 0.14 fluid ounce. But like I said, it was a free gift with purchase. I think the full size is a little bit bigger. I would hope so. But it has a bit of a sort of silicone-y feel to it. It's very soft, got a nice slip to it, but not so silky and greasy feeling that it wouldn't help with oily skin. Now, like I said, I have really oily lids, believe it or not, so this has definitely helped a lot for me. I just really enjoy this. A couple lip products. I have my Makeup Revolution Amazing Gloss. I've been carrying this with me in my purse. This is in the shade Natural Pink. It's a soft baby pink color. And I will be posting a video. I'm not sure exactly when. Here's the swatch of it. It's a soft little baby pink color. But this gloss is so good because it's got a nice sort of glossy finish to it. It's a really pretty pink that I can use on its own. I like layering this with other products. It's not sticky, and what I like is the fact that it has a nice sort of glossy, sort of mirror-like shine to it, which I'm a gloss girl, so that just definitely makes me happy. My last lip product is this cutesy little lip balm. This is by Moly, and this is the Mini Peach. And I have the one that has the shape of the lips, and it's so good. But this peach one, oh my word. It smells like just a fresh peaches. You know when peaches are in season and you go to the store and you pick them up and you could just smell that peach scent off of them. It's like, that's like my favorite thing. And that's what this smells like. It is so incredibly accurate, that juicy, fresh peach scent. Oh my god, I wish I could eat this, because if I could, this would be gone right now. It is so good, and it's actually really moisturizing. And I have to admit, the reason why I got this was not because, oh my god, Moly is like holy grail status for me, because it's not. I just could not pass up the packaging, and then when I saw it in stock at my local Sephora, I was just like, done. But then I saw it in store and I was like, when I did a little double take, because it's so cute. I mean, look at this. It's like a cutesy little peach shape. Like, who wouldn't want that on their vanity or on display? I mean, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just smell it. When I opened the tester, I was like, done. Like, just the smell of it got me. So, oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. All right, so for my last two products, I have to talk about some palettes. I'm going to talk about the one that I'm wearing today. It's the Balm in the Balm of Your Hand Volume 1 palette that I got from Kohl's at the beginning of October. This has been such a good palette. It's so cutesy with the packaging. I have to give it to the Balm. The packaging is pretty freaking adorable. It's got that sort of old school vintage vibe to it. It's really nice. And this palette is full of all of their biggest selling products. They've got a lot of eyeshadow palettes, a lot of lip products, and skincare and whatnot, and they've just put in here basically all of their biggest selling products that they have. So from the top you have Hot Mama, which is a blush. You can also use that as a shadow, which I have in the inner corner today. An in-stain blush in the shade Argyle, which I adore this formula. It's actually perfect for oily skin because it has a bit of a staining quality to it, so it's going to stay, and at the end of the day it's not going to be gone. It's going to still stay on the skin. Gosh, I can't even talk. And then you also have Cabana Boy, which also is a shadow slash blush. It's got a bit of a plummy sort of berry vibe to it. I've mixed both of these, and that's what I'm wearing today. Love it. Bahama Mama is a big selling bronzer for them. It's a matte bronzer. It's what I've got in the crease, what I've got on my skin as a bronzer today. And then you have 4 shadow products, and then you have a Mary Luminizer, which I adore. It's like the best highlight of all time. If you don't have it, you need to get it. It's amazing. It's what I'm wearing today. It's got that beautiful glow. Love it. And then the genius thing is that you have a flap for your lip products, and you have 2 lip products. You've got a nude sort of color. This is the How About Them Apples palette, and the shade is called Caramel, and it's a cheek and lip balm. I have it on my lips today. It's got a bit of a satiny feel. It's not super glossy at all. So if you wanted to add a gloss, you could, but the texture is actually really good to use it as a cheek product. Then you have a lipstick from the Balm Girls at the bottom, and it is called Maya Moore. So really pretty. It's very pigmented, and what I say about the genius quality of this is that when this is closed, all of your powder and all of the kick up that you may get from this does not fly into your lip products. Have you ever had a palette where it has powder products and then you also have lip stuff in there, and then when you look, your lip products looks pretty disgusting? And it's because all of this sort of like trickles into this little side here with the lips. So you've got your own flap. How genius is that, right? And my last product is the LORAC Mega Pro 2. I adore this. This has just been so great. I'm lost for words. I mean, look at this. Like, I don't have to say anything. Like, this speaks for itself. I have loved every single look that I have done with this palette. I have truly loved and enjoyed. I have never felt this way about a palette where every look I'm like, damn, that looks good. You know, and that's exactly what I get with this palette. They blend out so well. They're pigmented, they're creamy, they're just insanely good quality for the price. I think this was like 59 bucks. And look at all the shadows that you get. Like, the same quality that you get from LORAC in their smaller palettes or the original Pro palettes, Pro 1 and Pro 2, is the quality that you get in here. You're not sort of losing out on the pigmentation or the quality because of a larger setup like this. You're getting the same exact thing as you would get in those palettes, that creamy feel, that intense pigmentation, that blendability that you look for in shadows. This has got everything. It checks off every box that you would want in a shadow formulation. So I think that this is really great. You got 2 rows of mattes that range from really light to really dark colors, some warm shades, some orangey colors, perfect seasonal shades for right now, some darker shades for some smoky eyes, some playful purple colors, and then again this sort of same sort of idea, but these are all shimmers, metallics, and 2 sort of more satiny colors here, but the quality is insane. I will link my shadow tutorials that I've done with this. Oh, done. That palette is bomb. And the fact that this is still in stock, I'm still shocked that that's in stock. Not because, you know, it's not a good palette. I think it's phenomenal, and I'm just like, I can't believe that people are not buying this even more so. Like, the first one that came out last year was sold out with like the same day, and like weeks later this is still available. Like, hello, get it if you're interested. This is a must-have. I adore it, and every look, like I said, has come out 2 thumbs up for me. I adore that, and I can't wait to create more looks for you with that palette. And folks, we've come to the end of my beauty favorites. So the one product that was kind of, you know, okay for me was the new mascara from Maybelline. This is the Falsies Push-Up Drama. It looks like this. Looks really cool. It's got like a metallic red and a metallic pink, really cutesy, and I think this is okay if you want just a very thin layer of mascara. Let's say you're going to put on some false eyelashes, this is okay. If you're going to go, like I'm wearing a sweatshirt and yoga pants, I would have today, instead of doing this whole face, just done a layer of this, and I'm okay with that. But the mascara formula itself is very wet, so it clumps up the lashes and they stick together really easily. Don't like that. But the problem with this is that the bristles of this mascara, they're so far apart that it just sort of like puts all the lashes together. And I feel like when you have more bristles together, you get a more sort of combed through look. You can apply the formula and also sort of extend the lashes and really get a nice even coat. But I feel like this is just, it puts so much at the root, which is, it's not a bad thing. But when you're trying to comb this through, it's like the bristles, they're so wide apart that you don't hit every lash, and then you're left with like 5 lashes. So I don't really like that. So it's okay, but I feel like the whole Falsies claim, like giving you like, oh, this extraordinary length and volume, whatever, that's a bunch of bull. I don't like it. I would say skip it. That's not the best mascara Maybelline has made. If you want a good one, it's the Rocket Volume. That's all I gotta say. Alright, so that's all of my favorites. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Feel free to leave your favorites down in the comment section. I always love hearing back from you guys. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more of these types of videos in the future. Just hit that subscribe button and like, thumbs up, share the video if you'd like, and I will see you guys very soon.